If you've ever Googled grants for nonprofits and felt like you're drowning in results that had nothing to do with your mission, I need you to watch this entire video because here's what nobody tells you. The problem isn't that grants are hard to find. The problem is that most nonprofit founders are searching the wrong way and wasting weeks, sometimes months, applying for grants that they're never going to get. My name is Lynette, and I've spent 18 years building a sustainable funding system, not chasing money. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact system for finding grants that are actually aligned with your mission, your community, and your organization's stage of growth. And this is video one of a 5-part series that's going to walk you through the entire grant process from the very first grant search all the way to a polished submission-ready proposal. So hit the subscribe button right now and save this playlist because you're going to want to see all 5. So let's get into it. So let me describe a scene that I hear about constantly from nonprofit founders. You sit down, open your laptop, type grants for nonprofits into Google, and suddenly you have 47 browser tabs open and a list of 30 grants you may or may not qualify for, and absolutely no idea where to start. So you apply for anything that sounds close enough, and then you wait, and you wait, and you hear nothing. So here's what happens. The most common mistake in grant prospecting is finding an interesting grant and then checking whether your organization qualifies. That's backwards. You have to start with your eligibility profile first and then find the grant that matches you. Think about what funders are actually doing when they receive your application. Reviewers value clear objectives, compelling need statements, and measurable outcomes. If your application doesn't speak their language, if your mission doesn't clearly connect to their priorities, it gets passed over. Not because your work isn't valuable, because the alignment wasn't there. Companies and foundations focus on mission aligned over organization size every time, which means smaller nonprofits serving local communities have an equal chance at being selected, but only when the fit is real. So the foundation of a smart grant search system starts with who you are, and then find funders who are looking for exactly that. So I want you to think about something for a second. How many grants have you applied for in the last year? And how many of those did you research before you applied to know, really know that you were a strong fit? Because that number matters. And after this video, it's going to change. So what does a smart grant search actually look like? Let me walk you through the system we use inside the Passion to Purpose Toolkit. The grant search tool inside the Passion Toolkit is built specifically for nonprofit founders, not grant writers at large institutions, not development directors with a staff of 10. It's built for founders who are doing this themselves and need a clear, manageable starting point. So here's what it does. First, it helps you define your eligibility profile before you search. That means your 501c3 status, your mission area, the population you serve, your geographic focus, and your program stage. Most criteria for grant eligibility includes proof of nonprofit status, project alignment with mission, and adherence to funder requirements. And the tool helps you document all of that before you ever look at a single grant opportunity. Second, once your profile is built, it searches and scores grant opportunities using a high, medium, and low rating system. Here's what that means in practice. High rating means strong mission alignment, your organization type is explicitly eligible, funding ranges matches the program needs, and the deadline is workable. Medium is a practical alignment, worth reviewing more carefully, but not your first priority. And then low, either you don't meet the eligibility requirements, the mission fit is weak, or the administrative burden outweighs the award size. And here's your most important rule for this stage. Focus only on your high prospects first. Don't spread yourself across 20 applications. One strong, well-prepared application beats 5 rushed, misaligned ones every single time. So this is how you stop guessing and start building a real grant pipeline. Hi, so I'm so excited to talk about this today because this is where we're going to start searching for grants. And this is going to save you weeks, if not months, if not years of research. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go down and you're going to want to look for your 10 grant opportunity search or your 20 grant search seed money. And they're both going to work the same way. This is going to be more comprehensive and this is going to be more for seed money. So we're going to use the grant opportunity search as our example. So you're going to click and you're going to want to open it up. And once it's open, it should say 10 grant opportunity search comprehensive, and then it's going to be tailored to you. So, hello, Lynette. To get started, please share your nonprofit's name, mission statement, grant purpose, state, and zip code. And if you have one, also include a link to your personal or nonprofit LinkedIn account. And I'm going to show you why this is important. So we're going to use the information from a nonprofit that we currently work with and who we've helped establish. And we're going to enter their information right here. So it's for Forever Sarah, and our mission is to raise funds for research and provide families with support and resources while facing pediatric brain cancer in Orange, California. And we have the zip code included. And then we are raising money to help families financially with the unexpected costs associated with having a child diagnosed with brain cancer. And then right here, you'll see that we have the LinkedIn account for Forever Sarah. And then we're going to click right here. And then we're just going to wait for our results, and you'll see that it's thinking right there. Okay, so here are your results. Here is a comprehensive grant strategy for Forever Sarah Foundation, aligned with your mission to support families facing pediatric brain cancer in Orange, California. And so I wanted to point out that it gives you the funder name, their website, priority, which is high, medium, or low. High, you're most likely to get. Low, you're least likely to get. And then it's going to give you a deadline, application details, recommended amount right here, your next steps, and then right here is why LinkedIn is important, because it's going to do a connection mapping for you, and then it's going to talk about talking points. And so you're going to see all of the grants that it found, and it gives you high, medium. So here's an example of a medium one. Then we're going to keep going down. And so these are all of the grants that it found that align with Forever Sarah's mission. And then you'll see that it says additional steps, establish relationships, tailor application, prepare supporting material, timeline and follow-up. And then you're going to go down a little further, and then it's going to give you final notes. So high priority targets, key strategies, and scalability. So you're going to want to read through all of this, gather the information, and I would recommend saving it into a Word document. And I also wanted to point out also that it says, would you like me to refine any part of this strategy? So if there's, after you've reviewed this, and if you want it to go back and refine anything, feel free to just type all of that information in here. And as I've pointed out before, and I will probably continue to point out in these videos, the more information you give your toolkit, the better your results are going to get. So if you give it more information, you want it to refine, you let it know exactly what you want, the next time you do a search, it's going to give you better results. So what you can do is you can click right here and hit copy, or you can go right here to this doc, which are the two that I like, and it'll download a document for you. You can email it to yourself, but personally, I generally just click here and I let it copy it. And from there, I put it into a Word document. And then you'll see that I copied it into a Word document. And right here, we're missing a little bit of the information. So what I like to do is I like to go to the Layout tab. I like to go to Orientation and Landscape. And then you're going to see that it captured all of your information for you. And then you're going to have all of your grants here, high, medium, and low. And it's going to give you the website, priority, deadline, application details, recommended amount, next steps, connection, and your talking points. And then it's going to give you some additional information here with your final notes. And I did want to point out that whenever I do these, I like to name them with the date. So I'll go to File, Save As, and I like to save it in either my Google Drive, on a hard drive, or on a flash drive. And I like to use year, period, month, period, day, period. And I'll show you right here as an example. So I'll do 2025, period. We'll say today's date is the 12th, and then the date is the 4th. And whenever I save it to my Google Drive, my hard drive, and or my flash drive, I like to include the date because then when you go do another search, it's going to put them in chronological order for you, and you can go back and look at all of the searches that you've done, and it's going to hold all of that information for you. So here's your first grant search. Now let's move on to the next part of our worksheet. Okay, so once you've run your search and reviewed your results, the next step is critical. And it's the one most people skip because they're excited and want to jump straight into applying. But what you're going to do is you're going to save your results, organize them, and then make this a living document. And here's exactly how you're going to do that. You're going to export your grant search tool results. You're going to save them to a clearly labeled folder in your Google Drive, on your flash drive, or on a hard drive. And then we've created a simple grant tracking spreadsheet for you because you're going to want to track your funder's name, grant program name, your eligibility rating, the award amount range, deadline, and any notes you have. And then what I want you to do is I want you to identify your top 3 high-rated grants, just 3, not 30, 3. So in video 2, we use the grant evaluation tool inside the Passion Toolkit to take your top 3 grants and put them through a real evaluation process. We're going to look at fit, feasibility, return, timing, and capacity. And by the end of that video, you're going to know which one grant you should pursue first with everything you've got. Because here's the truth. You should rank opportunities by mission alignment, funding eligibility, award size, and your organization's grant readiness. And a high fit opportunity with realistic eligibility should be pursued first. The evaluation tool will walk you through exactly that. It's not guesswork, it's strategy. And in video 2, we're going to link it in the description, and it's going to be in the playlist, so watch it immediately after this one. Don't let yourself stop here. And before you go, drop a comment below and tell me, what is your nonprofit's mission? I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to know, who am I helping? Your mission matters, so let's get it funded. If this video gave you clarity, hit the like button. It helps more nonprofit founders find this content, and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in video 2.